Hello YouTube, it's Ian here with Hobbies Man, and because it's the beginning of the month, it's time for the monthly ramble. Now, this month, I wanted to talk about One Piece because I'm on a One Piece kick. I love One Piece so much. I'm caught up to One Piece, and I will be watching One Piece Film Red this weekend, so I'm really excited to talk about it. Now, today's topic is One Piece the greatest manga ever? And that's a very difficult topic to answer for a variety of reasons. One, I'm not really all that versed in every manga ever. I've never read every manga ever. And my knowledge of manga mostly stems to the shonen and seinen field, of course. So there really isn't like I can say it's the greatest manga ever. In my opinion, is only valid for half of the manga, right? Because shoujo and josei are the other half, and of course there's actually way more demographic labels, but most of the time they fall into one of the four, right? There's like you can say Yuri and Yaoi are their own demographic label. You can say that Kodomo, children's manga, is also its own demographic. There's this there's this other demographic label which refers to like erotica for women. I don't remember what it's called. But of course, hentai is also its own demographic and stuff like that. So, I don't know. It's interesting. I really don't think that my opinion can really be taken to be, like, correct. But I also don't find, like, my opinion is that bad. I can still have an opinion even if I don't have all of the facts, right? That's just how every opinion works, right? So, yeah. Is One Piece the greatest manga ever? I would say definitely. I do think it is the best manga ever. But I don't know how you can really measure that. Like, sales-wise, I think One Piece is the highest-selling manga ever. I'm not sure about that. But One Piece is selling about the same, if not more, or has actually outsold Batman and is about to catch up to Superman, which are the two highest-selling comic books ever. So, sales-wise, I would say that, One Piece definitely is up there. Is it the greatest in terms of influencing other mangaka? I'm not sure that that's the case. I mean, like, I was talking about lineages of manga the other day. I don't remember which video it was. It was probably my wrap-up video. But we know Horikoshi was definitely influenced by One Piece. And, of course, I would say that every Shonen Jump artist in Shonen Jump after 2002, 2004 are probably inspired by One Piece. But like what I'm saying is like you can't directly see that influence, right? Like it's the same thing with like JoJo's. Like JoJo's, everyone says that JoJo's influenced everyone, right? But when you look at it, I don't think that's true because every time JoJo's is in the conversation of being an influence, it's mostly JoJo references, which is usually like the mangaka draws their character in a funky pose that is similar to a JoJo's pose. And that's not influence, that's reference. That's not the same thing. That's paying homage to an older manga that you kind of like or that is really popular. And it doesn't necessarily mean that they like the manga. It just means that they thought it would be fun to do so, right? So I don't really know that JoJo's is an influential manga. And I do think that influence is part of being a great work of literature, right? So I don't know. Of course, One Piece has influenced and been referenced by a lot of creators all over the world, right? But I don't think you can clearly see that. Not the way that you can see that Saint Seiya influenced Yu Yu Hakusho that then influenced Shaman King or Bleach, right? Like there's this like lineage of like things and ways things are drawn that follow suit through these different mangaka. And I haven't really seen like something from One Piece represented by other mangaka in their own stories, right? If that makes sense. But I do think One Piece is the greatest manga ever just because of the sheer scope of it, the sheer epicness, the sheer just ability of writing that Oda has. Like his ability to make you cry over like the weirdest, most simple things. The ability to have this like Tolkien-esque, Sanderson-esque kind of like bit of information thrown here, and then 10 years later it connects to something else over there. It's just so exciting and interesting. And I do think that when I think of the fantasy science fiction genre as a whole, Oda is definitely among the Tolkiens and the George R. R. Martins and the Brandon Sandersons of literature of that genre. So yeah, I do think that One Piece is one of the greatest things ever, but I don't know how to quantify it, if that makes sense. It's not easy to see its influence across other manga, across other mangaka, except for Horikoshi, because he literally sent in a drawing to what's it called, to Oda, and it was in an SBS. And then we saw Horikoshi make his own manga later, and then Oda in an SBS again shouted him out. So there is direct correlation there, but like it's not the same thing as like Yu Hakusho characters having attacks and backstories and character designs that are like one-to-one to Saint Seiya characters, right? So I don't know. So I can't really say yes in terms of influence. I can definitely say yes in terms of sales. I can say yes in terms of enjoyment, like just everything about One Piece. Once you get past Arlong Park, is amazing. Actually, that's not true. I definitely have issues with some things in One Piece. Like, basically all of East Blue is relatively boring. Syrup Village is bad. Orange Town is kind of lame. Except for the dog. The dog in Orange Town is the best. Syrup Village is really, really lame. Kuro is a horrible villain. Arlong Park is really, really good. It is the pinnacle of East Blue, and it is the set piece, the cornerstone for what One Piece becomes, right? Skypiea, I don't really like. I know that it is really meaningful to the overall story of One Piece. I just don't like Skypiea. Like, the Sky Island part of Skypiea is boring. The Jaya part is kind of fun. I like it. And then, what else? I don't really like Thriller Bark either. Again, Thriller Bark is really important, specifically to Wano, but I don't like it, either because of the vibes or because of the characters or because Oda was, lacking in some ways. I don't know. But I do think that in terms of enjoyment, One Piece gets the most reaction out of me ever, like when I read manga. I mean, I cried over the dog in Orange Town when Buggy is taking over the town, and the dog is trying to defend its owner's house. I cried about that. I cried about Nami. I cried about Laboon. I cried about what else? I'm trying to think of it in order. What's next? Oh, I really love Vivi's whole thing. Nico Robbins, I Want to Live. Marineford. Sanji's backstory in Whole Cake. The whole situation in Dressrosa with Kairos and Rebecca. There's just so many things. The Going Merry at Water 7. Usopp shooting down the flag. Like, there's so many things, so many crazy moments in One Piece that just, like, excite me or make me run around my room or make me want to cry or make me want to yell in excitement. And, One Piece is amazing. It has so many wonderful, like I don't know, like gripping parts of the story. It has issues, of course. Like I said, I don't like Skypiea that much. I don't like Thriller Bark that much. Also, some of the character traits that some characters have are just ugly. Like, as individuals, they're just ugly. Like, because they're the character traits are not funny for us in the US, right? They might be funny for Japan, but it doesn't work like that. Like, you can't transfer it over and expect it to work the same way. But it's so gripping, it's so exciting, it's enthralling. It makes me so happy to read One Piece. And so I do think that in terms of enjoyment, it definitely is one of the greatest manga ever. So I don't really know what else to quantify it with. Like, sales, impact on other stories of its same genre or outside of its genre, and enjoyment. It does win 2 out of the 3, in my opinion. The influence one is just hard to see because I haven't read a lot of manga. Well, I have read a lot of manga, but not that many manga that are in the same kind of sphere. So I do think that One Piece is one of the greatest stories ever told. I don't really have a very good thought out, like, amazing, not totally not Mark kind of video talking about it, but I think that this video, this simple ramble video, does encapsulate what I think about One Piece, why I think it's so amazing, and a lot of it is repetition. But, you know, it is what it is. One Piece is the second best-selling comic book ever. It has influenced so many mangaka, even if you don't directly see it. And it is just sheerly enjoyable. There's so much good stuff in One Piece. It is so amazing. And the fact that One Piece is a canvas for literally any type of story is awesome. Like, I really love that. I think the only other franchise that can really compete with One Piece for, like, my heart, for my love of it, is Star Wars, right? And Star Wars and One Piece are basically, in my mind, the same kind of level of thing. And they are both also canvases through which any type of story can be told, right? Like, Film Gold is a spy movie, a Mission Impossible type movie. Thriller Bark is a gothic tale. Dressrosa and Whole Cake are fairy tales. Wano is a what are they called? Rakugo story, stuff like that. Like, it's really interesting, right? And it's very similar to Star Wars, where the first movie is a samurai movie, The Mandalorian is a Wild West movie, a bunch of Clone Wars episodes and arcs are little, like, political thrillers and stuff like that. Andor is a political thriller, and it's really, really exciting. Like, the only other things that I can think of that do the same kind of storytelling thing are, like, comic books, like DC and Marvel, but that's because that's, like, what they're supposed to do, right? And they don't really do it that well, so it is what it is. But yeah, One Piece is amazing, and I definitely recommend that you guys all read it, even though it is highly, highly difficult to do so. It just has so many chapters and so many arcs and stuff like that. But the best way to read One Piece, in my opinion, is to read the first 100 chapters, read the first 12 volumes, and then decide if you like it or not. Don't let yourself be bogged down by the fact that it's super long. Just break it up into arcs and chunks, and just consume those chunks at your own pace. However, I do think that the first 100 chapters should be consumed in one go, or at least as close to one go as you can, because they are the prologue of the story, right? Like, they are the first 20 minutes of a heist movie where you get the gang together. It's that kind of part of the story, and I don't think that you can really get a whole sense of it if you don't read all of that together, right? So it is just, my thoughts on that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. Do you guys think that One Piece is the greatest manga ever? I definitely think so, but it's just hard to kind of really make statements like that. So yeah, but that's it. That's all I have to say. So thank you guys very much for watching, and see you guys later.